昔々、様々なデストロン破壊大帝がいました。メガトロン、ガルバトロン、メガザラック、オーバーロード。その破壊大帝たちはどこに行っても後ろに破壊させて残しました。しかし、大帝の中で一人が一番最悪。紹介、デストロン新破壊大帝デスザラス。 Hello everybody, my name is LinkFrostimus, and today we're going to be taking a look at the third Transformers Haslab project, the Transformers Generations Legacy Haslab Deathsaurus. Deathsaurus? What the did a 5-year-old come up with this guy's name? And with this guy's last toy being a Japan exclusive from 1989, this guy has been a long time overdue, and finally, through the power of Haslab, people outside of Japan can finally own him. But first, who the heck is Deathsaurus? He hails from the Japanese G1 continuity of Transformers, the eternal rival of Starsaber and leader of the Decepticons in the anime Tran Victory! Throughout the series, he mainly sat back and ordered his army to pillage Earth of energy so he can power up his dormant space fortress. And he may have sat back a lot, but never hesitated to absolutely body Starsaber when the chance arose. With his skills and weapons at his disposal, Deathsaurus more than makes himself worthy of the title Emperor of Destruction. Also, he's a loving husband to his wife, Esmeralda. So as the third figure from the Victory universe, and many people's first taste of a proper Deathsaurus, including myself, how does he hold up? Is he a good figure? And did this Haslab project live up to its expectations? さあ皆さん、君も一緒に Let's say go! そうであったが運の尽き、今日のわしは一味違う。Absolute perfection is still an understatement as to how magnificent this robot mode is. Hasbro and Takara have really outdone themselves. Deathsaurus looks amazing. This joint project between designers has resulted in perhaps the absolute perfect blend of Deathsaurus' original toy details with his anime-inspired proportions to create the definitive Generations update of this Decepticon leader. And I can't get enough of this guy. Taking him out of the box was just love at first sight. And he's got so much detail, so much intricacy to him that it's a journey to discover all of it. And well, let's embark on that journey together. First, his proportions. Absolutely killer. The muscular arms, the strong legs, the wide chest, and that sinister silhouette that the wings provide makes Deathsaurus not only feel evil, but simultaneously unnatural. Like he's a Cybertronian demon. And it doesn't help that this beautiful wingspan is giving me Devilman vibes. This is pure bliss. The stature, the presence, magnificent. Now let's take a look at the fine details of this work of art. That head sculpt. The silver face really makes his features pop. The helmet is jam-packed with personality and detail. And let's not ignore the greatest part of all. The chrome gold Decepticon crest. When I noticed when it was supposed to be, I may have gotten a little too excited. This is beautiful. I will say that the bird beak hat brim does look kind of off, not gonna lie, but it has a hidden feature where the angle you look at it elevates his angry expression. Just gonna put this out here, if any Transformer is gonna give head, I take it from Deathsaurus. That's how great his head is. Wait, what does it mean to receive head again? Let's move on to the rest of his body, and like I said earlier, the sculpt work is beautiful. Taking cues from the detail on the original toy, it's all updated here so perfectly. The panel lines, the arrow designs, the plethora of vents, there's just so much detail to discover and behold. You'll be hard-pressed to find something not to admire. His back's filled with it too, and damn what an impressive back and profile. The details carry over to the hands, feet, and even the wings. The Hashtag designers really made sure to utilize the entire canvas. This figure is a work of art meant to be appreciated. Everybody has a favorite part to a piece of art. And for me, it's this gold chest crest. I love chrome! It's just so beautiful. It reflects off of everything and really elevates the look and feel of this figure to the realm of a premium product. And it helps too that there's absolutely no scuffs on these chrome parts, unlike someone else I know. And that's actually something I really wanted to talk about, the colors and paint on this guy. First of all, the colors are beautiful. Whether a part is painted or unpainted, it looks great. Look at the shine of that gold. But the real thing to praise is how perfect the paint is applied. I can't believe I'm saying this. As somebody who regularly complains about paint blotches and mishaps, I deliberately looked for them, but I can't find any. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the paintwork is perfect. In fact, the overall QC of this guy is flawless. I have never had the privilege of handling a Transformers figure that looks and feels as good as this guy. I don't know if there's any existing QC issues that people have reported on Deathsaurus, but I don't have any. And after the ones that were plaguing Haslab Unicron and Victory Saber, so much so that Hasbro offered backers to return their Victory Saber for a brand new one, I have to give them praise. Hasbro, Takara, bravo. This just feels like a momentous occasion because we helped create this. This was a joint project. Hashtag showed us the product, we funded it, and they used our funds to totally knock it out of the park. Haslab Deathsaurus is perfection. Simple, badass perfection. There is so much to love about this robot mode. And lucky for us, there's a whole other world to Deathsaurus beyond his robot mode. First of all, I gotta say something. Revisionist history is not good. Deliberately trying to rewrite history to benefit an agenda is scummy. So, why am I saying this in a Transformers video? Because Hasbro is guilty of this, and I'm calling them out on it. They're deliberately trying to change the Deathsaurus lore. And I won't let them. So, Deathsaurus, along with a few other Decepticons, are part of the Breast Force. That's right, Breast Force. Boobies. A select few Decepticons have unlocked a secret hidden booby technique that allows them to deploy breast animals from their breasts. Boobies. Kinda like Soundwave, even though he's technically not part of the Breast Force. Weaponized boobies. How cool is that? And Hasbro is trying to change their name! So I'm gonna make a note of it right now. Hasbro officially changed the name to Chest Force. And Deathsaurus' pet chest animals to Eagle Chest and Tiger Chest. But that's not what Deathsaurus says in the anime.
Reject revisionism.
Ja, Deathsaurus Introduction! First, we have Tiger Breast, Deathsaurus' kitty, and he's pretty cute. Aw. His head sculpt is nice, his detail is nice, I really like the wings of the gold arches, and he's even got a teeny bit of articulation, and he looks so cool. But I also think he looks unintentionally adorable. The Deathsaurus chest part kind of looks like a turtle shell for him. Aw. Now each breast animal also turns into a weapon for Deathsaurus to utilize. For Tiger Breast, he turns into a longbow. He plugs into Deathsaurus' inner forearm, and you can take the included arrow and plug it in here. I know it's a stretch to say I wish it could have fired, but I digress. This is a really awesome display, and Deathsaurus looks pretty natural pulling the bow back. This is a really cool look, and you can store the arrow on his back. The arrow's neat, but could use more paint. Also, it's curved. Fuck. Last note, Deathsaurus is ambidextrous with the bow. Now for his other pet, Eagle Breast. His birdie. He's just a little rectangular mechanical bird, kind of like Laserbeak, with great detail and sculpt work. Dude has shoulder cannons and a tail. The only thing to complain about is that his eye color is way too similar to the red of his body, so it's kind of hard to make out. But overall, another loyal pet to Deathsaurus. And this guy turns into a blaster, and probably holds the record for lamest looking Transformers blaster. This thing is literally a box with 2 barrels and a handle on it. What the fuck? Now before we move on to the next thing, some final notes about the breast animals. They both can store inside Breastsaurus. Wait, fuck. They both can store inside Deathsaurus at the same time. First goes Eagle Breast, then Tiger Breast. And they're independent from each other. One can be deployed while the other one is stored. And to take them out, pop off Tiger Breast, and for Eagle Breast, lift up the head on Deathsaurus' back and use your finger to push him out. Now Tiger Breast is the default breastplate for Deathsaurus, but Eagle Breast can act as one too. And even when you take both out, Deathsaurus has his own breastplate, which means more detail. Okay, that's it. Back to this dumb thing. The barrels are compatible with the Fire Blast parts. And guess what? It's the Siege Jet Fire parts, but in Decepticon purple. And it's compatible with another weapon. Behold, Deathsaurus' ultimate weapon, the living metal destroying cannon. A weapon that is charged by Deathsaurus' personal energy supply, creating a lethal blast that penetrates any metal, even the living metallic cells of Transformers. This is the weapon that took the life of God Jinrai. And it makes for a badass accessory. First of all, the size and sculpt is amazing. The talons on it too add a demonic flair to it. And to get him to wield it, straighten up his arm, tab these into his shoulder, and wrap his fingers around the handle. And wow, what a look. Now of course you can plug in the Fire Blast parts to the barrel, nice, very epic, but you can also plug it into the rear to simulate blastback. And this weapon is ambidextrous, but technically the correct way to wield it is in his right hand, because his left hand is supposed to grab the side grip. And Deathsaurus may have access to ranged weaponry, but that doesn't make him no melee pushover. First, we got his sword. That looks like a big dumb pirate sword. Still, the shiny paint is awesome, and you can have him hold it in either hand. You can even store it on his back. And what's a swordsman without a shield? Enter the Death Tailor's shield. As a shield, the shape is interesting, but the detail is beautiful and intricate, so it looks nut. And once again, ambidextrous. Any hand can hold it, but technically his right hand is supposed to hold it because on the right shoulder, flip out this part and change the blue shield handle to plug it into his shoulder. And just like the anime, having the shield rest on his shoulder is such a cool look. And fun fact, the Death Tailor was the name of the original Deathsaurus toy's rifle, which this one doesn't come with, but for some reason this toy made the change so that the shield would carry the name. So why they changed the shield's name to Death Tailor? Oh, it's cause it turns into the tail for the creature mode. Oh. Moving on, Deathsaurus has one more weapon up his sleeve, the spiked flail. The metallic sheen on the spikes and the long loose chain makes this a deadly looking weapon. He can hold it in his hands or, believe it or not, store it in his back in this bucket. I'm impressed with this weapon storage. Whew, and finally, we're done with his weapons. Now let's take a look at the next way to elevate his display potential, the stand and the stand arm. Slide in the arm like this and peg this into his booty hole to get him to stand on the stand. this is a little disappointing. It doesn't really bring him up in the air, so unless you raise his legs up to make it look like he's in the air, it just allows him to stand in a stable manner, even though he's more than capable of doing that on his own. Damn, now he's kind of like a disappointed dad who's just gonna sit on the couch and waste away on beer all day. It's just too bad there's no chair for him to sit on. Oh my god, he's got a chair! There's another thing you can plug into a stand. The most important accessory to Deathsaurus as a character, his throne. He's seen on countless episodes lounging on it, and it's even the command deck of his planet-destroying fortress. Take out the stand arm, plug in the chair, and orient Deathsaurus so he can take his rest. And honestly, I thought this was a dumb accessory, but seeing him sit on his throne, this is such a cool display. And there's something about this throne that makes me love it even more. Eagle Breast can perch on top of the chair, and every single one of Deathsaurus' weapons stores behind the chair. I am in love. This added engineering to the chair is so appreciated. Now, believe it or not, we are still not done with accessories. Look at what the cat dragged in. The other half of the rescue patrol team. This was a surprise inclusion to Deathsaurus, as it was announced that the missing members from Victory Saber would be included with Deathsaurus after the campaign ended. And it includes 2 Autobot Micromasters. First, Autobot Boater. As his name suggests, he's a cute little boat and a neat little robot. Same thing can be said about Peepo, a cute little ambulance and a neat little robot. But why is his name Peepo? Well, Peepo is actually the Japanese onomatopoeia for the sound an ambulance makes. Peepo, Peepo. You see? Japanese onomatopoeias are weird. Did you know that their sound for frogs is gero instead of ribbit? What the hell? For their tiny size, they look surprisingly great. They have a little bit of articulation to them too, and the perfect paint application of Deathsaurus transfers to them. No blemishes, and no misassembly either, so they're automatically better than the ones that came with Victory Saber. Whew. And finally, that's all of his accessories. Every single one of them adds to this overall package. Nothing is filler, not even that stand arm. But this segment took too long, so let's just move on to Deathsaurus' articulation. Imagine all the breakthroughs of modern Transformers articulation. Believe it or not, Deathsaurus has it. Let's go over it. His head's on a ball joint to allow for nice swivels and slight wiggles. Can look up a good amount, but sadly not really down. There's a hinge on the chest crest, so it makes room for his arms. Same with the wings. There's 2 hinges you can use to orient the wings however you like. Now that we have clearance for the arms, let us bask in its glory. Delicious ratcheted rotation. Arm moves out slightly beyond 90 degrees. Bicep rotation. Elbow bend that is like 1 degree over 90. Oh man. Wrist rotation. Finger hinges that are split down the middle of the hand. Butterfly joints for inner arm movement, waist swivel, skirts that flip out to allow for beautiful ratcheted leg movements for a forward and backwards kick, and a beautiful spread. Thighs are on a nice tight swivel, knees are on nice ratchets, and you can get a slightly further bend if you unhook his kneecap. Finally, ankle tilts. What can I say? Beautiful articulation. He's got it all. Though I do have a few complaints. With how tall he is and how he sits on a throne looking down on people, I wish he could look down on people. And the other thing is, I wish he had toe bends to further help with dynamic poses. But I'm getting too ahead of myself. You can get Deathsaurus into a variety of poses. Whatever he's gonna do, he's gonna look good doing it. A beautiful figure. Did I mention he's big? And super stable? Seriously, nothing shakes from the shake test, not even the wings. And I was surprised about how big he is when I took him out of the box. He's a lot bigger than I thought. He's definitely gonna tower over anyone that you pair him with, even Masterpiece figures. Cybertronians beware. Whether a Decepticon subordinate or especially Starsaber, Deathsaurus will not take kindly to whoever you pair him with in your collection. So guys, what do you think of Deathsaurus in this robot mode? Perfect, yeah? Yeah, perfect. I've tried searching for some bad things to say about him. Some valid criticisms. And you wanna see what that looks like? Yeah, that's right. Nothing, baby. Not one flaw to this guy. The robot mode is perfect. The fact that he looks this sexy, feels solid and strong, comes with so many essential and fun accessories, and is this fun to play with, is a crowning achievement in of itself. Haslab Deathsaurus is the peak of Transformers toy design, and I genuinely mean this. 1 mode down, 1 more to go. Let's take a look at his namesake, the Creature mode. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I kinda thought the fandom calling Deathsaurus a space chicken was just a dumb joke. Like, hee hee, hoo hoo, look at his wings, look at his beak, he looks like a chicken. I wasn't buying it. But after seeing how he looks in hand, oof, man. Bro is not beating the space chicken allegations anytime soon. So yeah, this is officially, I guess, the Griffon-Dragon Deathsaurus mode, and yeah, it looks cool, I guess. The TF Wiki does note that this mode is most likely styled after a traditional Japanese kaiju, like the monsters from Godzilla. So when you look at him like that, yeah, he's pretty cool. A lot of robot mode detail translates beautifully into this creature mode, from the new chests, the new detail on the legs and talons, and even the tail has great work on it too. That's in no part due to the tail being the shield. Again, Death Tailor, hehe. The back detail of the wings are brought into full display here, and they add so much to his silhouette in this mode too. Look at this thing! Though, I do wish it had more color variety to it. The pure baby blue is a little bland. Speaking of color, look at that beautiful gold paint. It's so precise and shiny. It really highlights the body, especially the talons, even though they do kind of look like chicken feet. The gold shines on the beak too, and now that we're up here, we get to talk about his head. This is a pretty cool chicken. The white plastic makes the gold beak and red eyes really pop, and there's more detail to discover here too, like the teeth, the horns, and even his neck. With all the intricate details he has, I really dig this creature mode. Sure, it's nowhere near as spectacular as the robot mode, but it's still cool in its own right. But wait a second. He kinda looks like somebody we already know, does he not? So it's no secret, but in case you didn't know this, originally Deathsaurus was supposed to be a retool of Studio Series 86 Grimlock and released in the Legacy retail line. But they moved him to Haslab after the astonishing success of Victory Saber. But basically what I'm trying to say is, yeah, I can totally see that. Their alternate modes have the same shape and they straight up transform the same. Like Deathsaurus also has this creature head mode resting on his back, and it moves up to cover his head. His robot arms become the creature mode legs and shift down from his torso to his legs. And his legs fold up into his body to become his tail. So, separated at birth or what? I just think this is a cool thing to point out, but I also said this because I do have some issues with Deathsaurus that I also had with Grimlock. The arms and the wideness of the griffin. If there's anything that looks like it's a part of a chicken, it's the arms. Okay, I know chickens don't have arms like this, but chickens are pathetic and stupid, and the arms are pathetic and stupid, so shut up, I'm right. Like, real quick, what is he gonna do with these? They're useless. And yeah, his lower body is pretty wide, so it does look like he's built like Mewtwo. Is that the right way to phrase it? You see what I mean though? It makes his legs look really spaced out, and it's kinda goofy. You know, looking back at Grimlock, he ain't so bad now. And I would have mentioned this regardless of whether or not this was a Haslab project, but I just think it's kinda more of a shame that despite being a Haslab project, they weren't able to utilize some sort of engineering magic to smoothen out his looks. And one more thing to mention, I do applaud that they tried to cover up the robot mode legs from the back, but their attempt makes the extremely visible crotch stand out more. They could have covered this up. But that's it for complaints. Like I said before, Griffon-Dragon Mode, it looks cool, detail and all. And believe it or not, this bird's got accessory integration. This chicken can carry his weight. That's right, in this mode, Deathsaurus can also wield the living metal destroying cannon. Make sure to move his wings out of the way, tab this into his shoulder, and then tab the handle into his tiny arm. Huh, not as useless as I thought. Now he's ready to kill your favorite childhood character. Anime accurate, very epic, and of course, ambidextrous. And obviously, the blast effects are still compatible, but they're also compatible with the head. Open up his mouth, plug it in, burn some bastards. What an epic look. Speaking of epic looks, we can get him on the stand, but first, his breast animal buddies. They still plug into him like normal, just make sure to orient the crests like this. That's better. Technically, the instructions say he's complete without them, but I don't know, he feels kinda naked like this. Also again, the gold crests, lovely. Now the display stand. So take the stand and the arm, make sure it's like this, and slide it in. Now, take this adapter, plug it in here, then plug it into Deathsaurus here. The instructions also tell you to plug in the blast parts into his mouth and feet to make a pretty awesome display of this mode. How cool is that? He's still unfortunately kinda low to the ground, but it does look better in this mode, I have to admit. Fantastic, mwah, kisses all around. And that's it for accessories. He doesn't have any mode exclusive ones, but this dragon bird is cool as is and doesn't need any extra toys to make him stand out. And there is one final aspect to this guy. Being a beast mode, let's take a look at this guy's articulation. Remember the section about Studio Series 86 Grimlock? Well, if you have that guy, here's a great reference point. Deathsaurus' articulation is pretty much the exact same. Hinge at the beak, hinge and swivel at the neck, wings remain the same, though Tiger Breast does block it if he's on. The arms are on a ball joint at the shoulder, bicep swivel, and hinge at the elbow. Technically, we have a butterfly joint and ab crunch, but again, if you do have Tiger Breast on, the lion head blocks this, so be careful. The legs, being the robot mode arms, retains the rotation and outwards movement, but loses out on the swivel. And finally, the talons can hinge up and down, swivel, and you can move out the talon toes. And that's it. Now, can I just say that, again, with the Haslab platform that was used to bring this guy to life, that I'm a little disappointed. The tail doesn't bend, the neck could totally bend more, no talon tilts, and the arms totally could have been enhanced with, first of all, bigger arms and articulated claws. But I am complaining a lot. This guy doesn't really need much articulation to look good. He looks naturally cool, and despite him shrinking, he still has an immense presence amongst other figures. Given his wingspan and how wide he is, he'll still look intimidating paired with whoever's brave enough to stand near him. And with his predator and killer instincts, I don't think Starsaber can fly away fast enough to escape this Decepticon devil. And that's the Griffon-Dragon Mode. It's a cool mode. It may not be as breathtaking as the robot mode, but let's be fair, that's an impossible thing to live up to. It does have an undeniable, irresistible charm to it. So it's almost a shame to transform him back into his robot mode and give him a rating. But this is a review and this is what I gotta do. So if you can't guess already, I think this is as good as Transformers figures get. Haslab Deathsaurus is perfect. I don't know what else I can really say that I haven't already said. This is Transformers perfection. A new milestone, a new landmark that has been crossed by Mainline out of all places. The bar has been set once again, and I'm not sure the next inevitable Haslab Transformers project will live up to the standards that Deathsaurus set. This project is a resounding success. Even the record number of backers point to this. I'm so happy to be a part of this journey, bringing this guy to life, because it was totally worth it. Flawless robot mode, awesome creature mode, so many cool accessories, so many options. One more time. Haslab Deathsaurus is perfect, and him swooping in just before the year ends and absolutely blowing everything else from this year out of the water makes this figure my definitive figure of the year. Was this you last holiday season? Damn it, my Christmas was ruined because I didn't back the collaborative Hasbro and Takara crowdfunding project, Haslab Deathsaurus. Well, there might be a chance for you because I'm announcing a giveaway! And I'm gonna give away none other than a brand new, unopened Haslab Deathsaurus. Now let me explain some things. First, perhaps the most important thing, this is gonna be open only to the US. If you don't live in the US, I'm sorry. And as of now, I'm only announcing my intention to hold a giveaway. There is currently no giveaway yet. And the only way for the giveaway to happen is if we meet these prerequisites. 1, let's hit 3,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel. So if you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button. 2, let's get 1,000 followers on my Twitter, which is at LinkFrost_. 3, let's hit 1,000 followers on my Instagram account, which is also LinkFrost_. And the most important thing, all of these prerequisites must be hit before March of this year. And I would love to hold a giveaway as soon as we reach all of these prerequisites, so the sooner the better. So, let's go! Tell your friends about it! Let everybody know LinkFrostimus is doing a giveaway for this guy. And on my socials too, I'll probably post updates and stuff about the giveaway when it does come to fruition. So remember, 3,000 subs, 1,000 followers on Twitter and Instagram, and all before March 2024. Tell your friends, spread the word, let's make it happen! Anyways, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about Deathsaurus, and that's it. Stay frosty, roll out. Happy New Year, and I'll see you all next time.